Hi guys, welcome back to more NCIS. We are on the penultimate episode for season 1. We've made it. We've got here. First of all, what I would like to do is thank everybody for all of your thumbs up, subscriptions, comments, everyone who's enjoying this show so far. I have already mentioned a couple of episodes ago that we are definitely continuing on with this series. I want to continue on with it. I was hoping everybody else would want that, mainly my viewers, of course. So we are almost here. We are going to be moving forward for those of you that wasn't aware. So we're just going to jump straight in and we'll go watch the penultimate episode, episode 22. Oh, okay. Night vision. Could be a training exercise. It's going to be hard to see what the hell happens. It's a long way to upsell down.
On my way.
Oh, okay, I can see that. Okay, he's dead.
I think it's the best Halloween ever. Makes Halloween 7 look like Halloween 5. Well, Ariana liked it.
Ariana? I thought you broke up with her. I don't know. Maybe because you came in the other day and said I broke up with Ariana? Where are we going?
With Gibbs, you never know.
Grab your gear. That's gonna just become a thing, innit? Grab your gear.
We're on a training exercise.
I got that.
Johnson, the team leader, was rappelling down the cliff when his D-link snapped.
Oh, what an awful way to die.
Someone moved the body.
After he fell, his squad members came to his assistance to see if anything could be done. We pulled him away from the face of the cliff because it was falling shale. It's an old mine. The intel was classified.
We removed it so the body could be transported.
From what we can see, that's pretty obvious that D-link had a catastrophic failure.
Unfortunately for Lieutenant Johnson, it appears to be just what it looks like.
But we need to check, not just fucking assume he's right.
Is that a piece of the D-Link?
Sure looks like it.
Looks like it is.
We understand you're on a training exercise.
Yes, sir. We were inserted by helicopter, secured our lines, rappelled down the face of the cliff.
Each of you will need to provide a statement detailing what you saw.
Yes, sir. I'd like Lieutenant Johnson's service record and the personal effects from his locker.
McGee is all mad at me. So we're popping back double espressos, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, he says, I really, really like you.
What'd you say?
Thanks. No, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna pretend like it never happened, and hopefully he's gonna do the same.
The lifetime odds of dying from a fall like this are roughly the equivalent of the odds of dying from a collision with an asteroid.
And?
You are late.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Ballard. I'm so sorry.
Don't make me have second thoughts, Mr. Palmer. I was referring to you being late.
Does this mean I have a job?
Yeah. Okay, he's our new assistant then.
Any prints besides
Her job's fascinating.
What else you got for me, Abs?
The D-Link is electrolytically coated with a protective oxide. If I just came right out and told you what I found, you would be bored.
What'd you find?
The chemical composition of the oxide isn't the same.
What's
The
that
one
mean?
on the left is the D-Link I got from the manufacturer. The one on the right is Lieutenant Johnson's. Someone
It's a fake.
handmade a D-Link out of a much weaker metal and then swapped it with Lieutenant Johnson's real one.
That's a lot of commitment to go to. I thought it was just like it'd been supplied by a different manufacturer who was cutting corners. I didn't realise someone's gone and handmade it to make it look like the real thing. Jesus. Oh, this
Looks
is
like
better.
murder.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Someone may have tampered with this equipment.
Definitely did.
Tampered? I would
Always look at the wife first. But do you see her doing that? I don't. You need, I don't know, you need somebody who really know what they're doing. Would you know how to fabricate one of those?
Nice car. You're not
Don't.
going to give me the vital stats on this car.
No sign of forced entry. I don't think it was done here.
Yeah.
Lines and harnesses are usually kept in a rope locker.
What about D-Links?
Not a controlled item. Most of my men take their personal gear like that home with them.
Not ammo here to take over a small country.
How small?
Open it up.
As far as we're concerned, this was a training accident.
What if I was to tell you it wasn't?
Well, it isn't, I'm afraid. So we need you to stop blocking
There,
us with
Gibbs.
the
I saw
classified
Johnson's
crap.
D-Link. It was broken.
Get it now?
Security badges.
Yes, sir.
Compromise our primary mission.
Which you can't tell us.
I will tell you it's absolutely vital to national security.
I know, I keep pausing it, but I've paused this show more than any other show that I currently watch because I'm on a massive fucking learning curve. I've got to expect, I know I'm blowing raspberries, but I've got to expect that because this is what this show is and it's to do with the Army and the Navy and everything included with it, that it's not going to be the last time we hear an investigation get kind of, not blocked, but what's the word? I don't know what word I'm looking for. What I'm basically trying to say is it's not the last time we're going to hear people throwing the word classified around when you are trying to get your investigation moving forward, and that's all you keep hearing every time you're asking for information. So, yeah, I know I'm a little annoyed by it because that's all this guy said so far is, that's classified. Sorry, that's classified. It's going to happen a lot, isn't it? And I get there's reasons behind it, but we know that NCIS and anyone that's currently serving or on a mission or on a training exercise or about to be deployed or anything, that's their main goal. You are the internal affairs of the Navy world, and as far as they're concerned, all you are is a distraction, and you're here to stir the pot.
Get Admiral Barnes on a secure line. Tell him Task Force X-ray may have been compromised.
What kind of a sailor is Bengal?
Young, headstrong, likes to be the center of attention.
Basically a SEAL. I'll need to talk to him as well as anyone else in Johnson's team.
We're inside a 38-hour window. If you don't find out what happened by then, we'll scrub the mission.
Yeah.
He was a good SEAL, sir.
But you didn't like him.
We had different styles, ma'am.
I checked your service record. Lieutenant Johnson wrote you up for an unauthorized absence 2 weeks ago because we're looking for the man who murdered him.
Wasn't an accident.
Agent Kramer, CIA. Is there someplace we can talk?
What the fuck's CIA doing here?
Yeah? Whatever you can say to me, you can say to my team.
Your investigation into Lieutenant Johnson's death is very important to us.
But you're not going to tell me about it.
Nope.
You'd have to be read into the program, and we don't have the time. I'm very concerned. There's an initial vetting process for SEALs.
If they've gone through all that.
Then we're dealing with someone who's very clever.
Go on.
I ran the print off Johnson's D-Link through the military database. No match.
Anyone we know?
Who?
Lieutenant Johnson's wife.
I suspect the wife.
The old blame it on the boyfriend excuse, one of the classics.
Well, that's usually who is to blame. I saw some things that made it seem like Johnson may have been sleeping in there.
What kind of things?
Alarm clock,
Pillow.
blanket.
Can we just have a minute?
She makes custom metal.
Of course,
That
my fingerprints
changes
are
the
on
playing field.
What was your relationship with your husband?
It was fine. We had our problems.
Yeah.
Like any married couple.
What were they?
None of your business. I mean, you come in to my home and basically accuse me of having something to do with my husband's death.
Did your husband have a computer?
We have a laptop.
Her explanation made sense.
Doesn't mean she isn't guilty.
You honestly think she had anything to do with it?
Yes.
Rainier said Johnson rode Bangle pretty hard. My guess is that was part of his carrot-and-stick approach.
But never formally
Never
filed it.
formally
So if the guy
filed
cleaned up
it,
his
yeah.
act, then Johnson would just toss the page 13 like it never existed.
Petty Officer Vengel did take her to see him, but not on the day that he told Lieutenant Johnson he did. This is weird. It's an email message forwarded from an internet account that shows up as a text message on his cell phone.
English, Kate? What's the weird part?
Well, the email account that this was forwarded from is davesmith@concealmail.com. That's not Johnson's email address.
What if I wanted to get into that account?
Get a search warrant for the servers.
We don't have time for a warrant. What's a quicker way?
Hack
Hack
into
it.
the servers.
Guess who we're going to use for that?
Can't believe I just said that.
Tell him to do whatever it takes to get that information. Someone switched a piece of his equipment with an inferior version.
Now, Rick and I talked about many things. As a priest, I can't break the seal of confession.
What about the 2 phone calls he made to you just before he died?
Were you in the service, Agent Gibbs?
Just something running around in my head. And it's plausible because it does happen. Was he sleeping on the sofa because they weren't just having marital problems? They were at the end of the marital problems and she was having an affair with the father here. It's possible. Was he spotted? Or is he just... Alright, okay.
What was that for?
Or is that for someone else?
Said you needed my help?
I don't need your help. He just asked you to help me.
Okay, what am I helping you do?
Hack.
What word?
Hinky, it's a made-up word.
All words are made-up words.
Well, I think it's stupid.
That's true.
Well, maybe I shouldn't say anything then.
Fine.
Fine. Good. Great.
Is there any reason why you couldn't do this at Little Creek?
Evidence pertinent to the investigation is all here.
Why did you lie about taking your wife to the doctor?
I do take my wife to the doctor. She's pregnant.
On the day
April
you said.
28th. You remember that date? Lieutenant Johnson wrote you up. Want to reconsider your answer?
He's starting to look guy.
I went to see a doctor off base for a medical problem.
Which would be?
What sort of medical problem?
Inner ear infection.
Elaborate.
They would yank you from the mission if they knew that. But you would have been putting everyone else at risk.
I had it under control.
What happened on the cliff?
I told you what happened. We were inserted by Huey. We secured our ropes, went down in pairs. End of story.
He wasn't recommending you for promotion.
You're the
You
one
made
with the
multiple
crutch.
page 13 entries that only you knew about.
I risked my career so I could stay on the mission.
That is true. Yeah, I suppose that doesn't make sense. So much for
Gibbs.
working it out
Kramer, what's
beforehand.
the status?
No change.
Let's pretend we don't know anything.
Not much of a stretch.
Start from the beginning.
They had a rappelling exercise 2 weeks before without a problem.
Isn't that 2 week?
I do actually like that we get this. We are a good portion into this episode. And we've got our team sitting down, going back to basics and going back to square one here. Because they don't know any more than I know. So I feel a little bit more justified in never being able to work these out, because the way in which they put these together, mixing it in with the character development and the comedy and everything, they don't purely just focus on the case, so it gets drawn out more, so you can get towards the end of an episode and you're still at the point going, we think we know who's done it, but there are holes in our line of thought, and that things just start adding up here. Like he says, if he did this, it would have scrubbed the mission, and he literally went to an off-site doctor to try and get an inner ear problem fixed so that he didn't get taken off and lose the mission. So here we are, all sat here, still trying to work it out as much as I am.
Who had the best opportunity?
The wife.
What about the best friend, Clan?
Okay.
Gibbs, he's a priest.
The priest something to do with this.
That? Sorry, boss.
Wife wasn't having an affair with someone at the jewelry store? Jealous husband?
Our investigation indicates nothing like that.
Duck, what are you doing here? It's the middle of the night.
How could I be at home in my warm and comfortable bed, knowing my brethren were here?
Good to see you, Duck. We could use a new pair of eyes around here.
I'm afraid the freshness date on my eyes expired a while back.
APG or keystroke capture?
I tried APG, but the admin had limits on how many times you could go in.
How are you going to cover your tracks?
Putting in a program bot, which will call another host infected with a similar bot, and... Yeah, but before it does, the bot knows what files to delete from the host system so it can delete the logs.
Jesus, these two are good.
I'm sorry.
Really good.
I'm not insecure. What
Oh,
makes you
it's
think I'm
starting to
insecure?
go so
Oh,
well.
that whole, where's our relationship going thing?
People in that relationship can't accurately communicate their feelings.
Yes.
Yes, that. No.
Okay, I guess my poem didn't mean anything then.
Oh, no, I loved your poem. Especially the finger snaps.
Then what's the problem?
Denozo there sure enjoyed the ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, if I have any brainstorms.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Go on.
What? No, no way.
You'll do fine.
Hey, remind me. This is going to help us solve the case
You're the
again
guinea pig.
because...
It's fun? You want to understand what happened. You've got to check your harness. How's that feel? Denozo, you're on belay.
Don't worry, Kate, I got your back.
I would be
Guide me.
crap in it.
Right here.
I'm terrible with highs.
I'll sit down here, boss.
That's what I told you.
You know, Gibbs, I kind of think I got the gist of it now. It's fine.
See ya.
Now you know what it feels like.
The fake D-Link is lighter than the real one.
Okay.
Johnson was an experienced climber. Why didn't he notice the difference?
But in the heat of it, would he notice the weight difference on such a small piece of
Embed
equipment?
the BIOS, then flash the BIOS.
Kicking ass.
Yes, we are. Can you type any faster?
Unless I grow another hand.
Lathe, vise, acetylene torch.
Everything there to make it.
Yeah, Gibbs. Abby and McGee cracked Johnson's secret email account. How did you find out?
2 weeks ago, Rick told me he was going quail hunting for the weekend, which wasn't unusual, except
You knew that it wasn't quail hunting season.
I bought something similar online and I hid it in his car. He drove to downtown Baltimore. I saw Rick come out with him.
He's gay.
They hugged. He watched Rick leave. Waved goodbye.
Yeah, I just got it. That's awful for the
I was
wife to
hoping it was
find out.
another woman.
No.
What happened after that?
Wasn't even a woman.
I confronted him. He didn't try to deny it. I told him he had to make a choice. I mean, Rick was very religious. And I was hoping that didn't have anything to do with his death. I saw him working on his D-Link. Rick dedicated his life to the Navy. I mean, 5 generations of his family have served honorably.
You had to.
I wake up every morning and I can't stand to look at myself in the mirror. I mean, why couldn't he tell me?
Yeah, Gibbs.
10 minutes from touchdown, we need an answer.
Good to go.
It was suicide. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Agent Gibbs.
We needed that email account hacked. It was the only thing that was going to reveal it.
I realized that in the midst of all the things that were going on, I never got to tell you how sorry I was for your loss.
That's what he confided in to
He
with
was
the
the
priest.
best man I have ever known. I feel like I failed him.
You didn't.
Okay, guys, episode 22. I believe, if my memory recall is intact, we've watched 22 episodes. I think that's the first one that all signs led to someone murdering him, but it was actually a suicide because he couldn't live with basically what choice he'd made and the fact that his wife caught him. It would have been what he confided with the priest, which is why he wasn't prepared to break that seal of trust. I wouldn't have guessed that at all. But there was no one on the team that was about to be sent into action here that made sense as to why they would kill him. Even when we thought we had the right guy, he quite eloquently pointed out himself, why the hell would I kill him? Because it would have the very effect that I was trying to avoid as to why he wrote me up in the first place for me going to try and get an inner ear issue fixed so I don't get pulled from the team. And because everyone else is relying on me. Damn. I do like that these are not easy to work out at all. And in particular with this one, we were in the dying moments, within the last 7 or 8 minutes of the episode, and we're still trying to get to the heart of the issue as to what are we missing, what are we not seeing. And then going back to the garage and finding all the equipment there. See, had they looked and found that to begin with, that would have completely pointed to the wife at that point. She could have been arrested at that point. It would have been questioned, but it would have still been the wrong path to go down. Suicide after all of that. And you might say, well, wouldn't he know that if he's chosen to do suicide that way, that it would get the whole mission potentially pulled? There are many ways of turning out the lights if that's the decision that you've made. He could have done it at home, he could have done it in his car, he could have done it with pills, he could have done it anyway, but he chose to go down the path that he went in making it look just like an accident, which would also tie with the fact that that would mean that his wife would get life insurance and everything else. Now she will not. Shit. I like the... It's not camaraderie. I like the romantic kind of nature that we've got between McGee and Abby, but it's only... It's not... It's not what he thinks. It's not what she thinks. She just wants to keep it simple. You get together whenever you want. You go out and do whatever you want. McGee's wanting answers. But they work well together. So will it develop? Won't it develop? I don't see it developing. But as regards their expertise between the two of them, good luck trying to get around them with anything that anyone decides to do, especially when it becomes technically related. When it comes to websites and hacking and computers, nothing's getting by these two, is it? Right. Next week, one episode, because we're at the end of the season, and it ends in an odd amount, so we'll just do one episode next week. If you do want to watch any of these, all full length, all uninterrupted, check the link in the description. That will take you to Patreon. That's the lifeblood of the channel. Really helps me out. Even if you just go take a quick look, you can decide from there. That's entirely up to you. What I would appreciate is a quick sub to the channel if you haven't already. We will be continuing on this into season 2. But for the time being, I will see you for the season finale next week. Take care.